to mention now. A nigga and a lady took a gamble in mayhem. Had to place her down before the horns came in. And all your love turned into passion, it turned into passion. And all your love, yeah. Falling machine for survival. Shiny champion green from her saddle. Are you joking, jumping over the king and the queen? That's a way of getting even when the odds are green, yeah. All your love, yeah, turned into passion, turned into passion. All your love, yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna get on with the review because, dang it. As much as I was looking forward to these speakers, it looks like I'm going to end up returning them. I used to own, I actually sold them. This is my new setup, by the way. I got a 55-inch OLED. And I got the M300s, I believe, by Swans. And at the end of the day, they do produce a good sound. But for me, the Edifiers S2000s MK3 take the cake easily. Because this is a very forward sound, and mind you, it's still a good sound, but at the end of the day, it's like too high pitched and too boomy. Even though you try to like balance it out in the back with the terminals, treble and bass or whatever, and I mean, right here you can tell it is definitely it's real wood, and I love that. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not really fond of like the speakers that are just like that are just smooth like that, you know, that are like that. And the look is okay, I guess, but one thing I don't understand is like, why would you go with real wood and go kind of cheap in the front? I think that the front looks a little cheap, that plastic or whatever rubber, whatever they used. The sound is a little too forward for me. What I felt different when I had these and the compared to the S2000s MK3 was that the MK3s were a lot more natural. And when the sound, like there's certain music where the music just dips, you know what I'm talking about, and then it comes back on. Like with the Edifiers, it used to go down so low and you used to think the stereo was off. With these, you kind of still sense that they're still on. Like there isn't a humming, but there's some sort of thing that tells that you kind of feel it in the background that it's going on. That you could sense the speakers on. Like I don't know if that makes any sense, but at the end of the day, it's still a really good speaker. I'm just a really, really picky listener, you know. And yes, they do go crazy loud. They do go louder than the Edifiers, the S2000 MK3. Yes, they do, but loud doesn't mean everything all the time. Like the sound separation on these, like if I was to rate them from 1 to 10, I would rate them like on a good day maybe a 6. The Edifiers, I rate them like at 8.9. That's how much of a difference the Edifiers have on these guys. Now, as much as I was looking forward to hearing Swan, like it's only been one day that I've had these guys. And I've been trying different tracks, audiophile tracks, you know, that stand out or whatever. It just sounds like music to me. It just sounds like regular music. When I had them on the Edifiers, the S2000s MK3, I can honestly tell you that there was sound separation and I wanted to continue listening. It wasn't just noise coming out of the speakers. This feels like noise coming out of the speakers. I tune into Z Reviews because that's where I got my idea. Z Reviews, go check him out. He's on YouTube. This guy does a bunch of budget audio, but as well as high-end audio. And I appreciate that, because there's hardly any guys that do that like continually and consistently. And these guys, I got them from there, because he said, like, oh, they sound really good. This is the best that I've had in this room or whatever. And I ended up getting them and taking the risk, because I'm not a fan of this grill. I'm not a fan of the way the speaker looks. It doesn't look. It looks classy because of the wood, but then you go to the front and it looks like it went from. Like we went from what's it called, Wallstrom to like Walmart. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's one of those things that I wasn't really a big fan of, but I took a leap, because I was like, maybe the fidelity and like the whole sound stage and like the sound separation will be the same. No, it just sounds like noise coming out of the speakers. For me, it just sounds like noise. Put it to you this way: they sound like if Beats headphones were a speaker. Here's what you would get. Yes, you get an okay sound from Beats. Not hating on Beats, the headphones, but at the end of the day, when you go to rooms and you experience like headphones that are worth like over $50,000, or you go to which I've done, and I've also gone into rooms where like there's only 2 speakers and 4 amps on the ground, and like that system is 1.5 million. Like when you start recognizing what sound fidelity, stage, and all of the above means, it's like you start appreciating a certain sound, and that's the sound that I'm seeking for, and that sound I'm not getting out of these guys. So at the end of the day, like as much as I would like to keep them, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna return these. In fact, I'm gonna start the returning process now, because I'm seeking for a speaker that can deliver most ranges of frequency. Now, as far as the low end, these guys do have a high low end that you could get pretty low on the hertz, and they'll do fine. My whole premise, I guess, to making this whole video is to acknowledge that these are great, but they're not the best. And if you're gonna spend the money for it, to spend it on the Edifiers, the s2000s MK3, because at the end of the day, for me, it's about fidelity, soundstage, and as well, I like to look at my speakers. As much as I like to listen to them, I like to look at them. Like, and maybe that's just my thing, but I just like doing that. With these, they're like fugly, bro. It's like that girl that has like a nice body but has a fugly face, bro. You know what I'm saying? Or that has that butter face, good from far, far from good. You know what I'm saying? And I go, oh, man, you were doing good with that wood, because that's real wood. I'm touching it, and like I go to the back and it's real wood, man. But then at the end of the day, I go, why did you have to go with plastic all the way around, bro? And by the way, that tweeter does good, but it's too high pitched for me. It sounds like I'm listening to clips. It sounds like you just bought. If you like the clips, because some people like the forward sound of like the treble and the bass. If you like the forward clip sound, it provides. These sound like clips to me. These sound like louder than average clips, and they do okay, I guess. It's just not my cup of tea. And I'm sorry to bump some of you guys out, but for me, it's gonna be a hard pass, because I was anticipating more, and I guess I pumped myself up to believing that. At the end of the day, they're not what I expected. I am going to end up returning these, because I want a speaker that when I hook it up to the TV, it'll give me all the sound frequencies at the way that I want them. I want a bigger sound stage. The Edifiers S2000 MK3 were a 5.5. These are a 6.5 full range driver. The Edifiers had a bigger soundstage than these. And at the end of the day, that's when I noticed. I go, okay, there's something that I need to do in regards to all this. But anyway, I'm not going to keep the video long. I'll post the gal of the first song I put at the bottom. And yeah, this is just to inform you guys that, like, everybody, take everybody's advice with a grain of salt. Because at the end of the day, it's what you like to listen to. It's what you think good sounds like. I know Z Reviews reviewed it and said that reviewed these, and then before he reviewed the Edifiers S3000 Pro, and I hear that those are good, But as far as like tonality, the S2000 still beat them, even though it's a tier lower. So you got to understand that you got to figure out what you want in a sound, right? Like these sound very clips, like kind of boomy. There's still a good sound stage, still a really good sound stage. Don't get me wrong. These have a really good sound stage. It's just my ear is picky as all get out, and I won't. I mean, I'm accustomed to a certain sound now. So at the end of the day, these get smoked, I believe, by the Edifiers S2000s MK3, because I mean the sound is night and day. When the voice is dropping, like you hear it dropping, you hear the pain in somebody's voice. With these, you can't. It's like you're expecting it to do, but it doesn't do it. It's just noise coming out of the speaker, and I don't like noise coming out of the speaker. But anyway, that's my review, and sorry to bump some of you guys out, but as much as I was pumped about these speakers, they're not what I thought they would be. I guess I was spoiled by the Edifiers, and Texas Instrument did the chip for the Edifier, the DSP chip that corrects everything. And that company does chips for a massive amount of car audio. They do chips for TVs, computers, all around the world, and they're really good at what they do. Swans almost had it right, but it's just a bunch of sound coming out of the speakers. Sound separation is there, but it's not impressive to me. And again, you can only trust my word by what I'm telling you. I've been in $1.5 million rooms with just 2 speakers on them and like 4 amplifiers on the ground, and so forth. And I have a certain sound that I want. I want the voice in the middle. I want the clarinet over there. I want the trumpet over here. Like, I want everything separated to sound that I'm in a bigger sound stage. These just, when the music plays, I know it's coming out of there, and I know it's coming out of there. So I'm not impressed by that. I could easily go to the Goodwill, get me just a regular set of speakers, and buy me a high-end amp that already has the chip. The speakers are only going to be capable to do what they're allowed to, but that amplifier is going to push them, right? So I could almost get the same sound just by getting a good amplifier. So anyway, I'm closing up this video. You guys take care. Hopefully this helps. I'm not critiquing. Like, these are still really good speakers, but at the end of the day, you want to get your money's worth. And these, if you're just getting into sound, it's really good. These are really, really good speakers. But for me, I just was spoiled by Edifier. Anyway, you guys take care.